Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Charlotte and today we're going to go through some books that I feel like I have rated wrongly. They've gotten the wrong grade. They should either go up or they should go down. I'm going to try and explain to you my thought process on how I rated these the first time and why I don't want to do that anymore. Okay, so basically when I finish a book, I have three moods. I either get the book high, which is like mile high for me. I feel drained, I feel happy, I feel just all the good mushy emotions. And I know it's a 5-star read. I love it and I love it so much. It's a 5-star read. I know it. I don't get that feeling that often. And then you have the emotion of, oh my god, is this over yet? I kind of hate it, but I only have a few chapters left. I'll just finish it. That's usually a correct standing. Then you have the emotion that kind of fudged me up. And that's the emotion of, oh, I feel kind of light now. It's over, I feel happy. And sometimes I have a tendency to only, evaluate the emotion I had the last 10 minutes and not the last few days. So when the emotion I feel when I'm done with the book is happy, it has to mean that I like the book and boom, it's a 4-star raid. Boom, it's a 4.5, even a 3.75. I enjoyed the book. But when I think about the book afterwards, I didn't enjoy it that much. I feel happy because I finished a book. Finishing a book brings me joy. And, dopamine. So sometimes I feel like I should wait. I should just give myself a few days, write down a few thoughts, then grade it. Because if I grade it straight away, I will just grade it on the emotion I have when I finish it. And that is usually a happy feeling because, dopamine. So I'm going to go over a few books that I feel like I've graded wrongly. Either I've been too nice or I've been too harsh, because I actually have a few of those as well, where something has happened in the book and it just irritated me so freaking much that even though I'm happy I'm done with it, it still irritates me and I don't really take time to reflect on it because I am not a reflective person. I am an impulsive person. If I decide that I'm going to do a hobby, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right now. I'm buying all the supplies, and then Tom gets, a little frustrated because we don't have space in the cabinets and I don't want to do the hobby anymore. But that's ADHD for ya. Yeah, we're going to start with the first book. The first book is The Perfect Marriage. This is by Jeneva Rose and it is a psychological suspense. I'm not going to tell you too much about these books. I think I have a reading vlog out on this one and I mentioned all of them in my wrap-ups in previous months. So maybe you've already seen them. But I'm going to mention a little bit. This one is about Sarah Morgan and Adam Morgan. Sarah is a high-profile attorney. She's thriving. She's doing her best. She is a girl boss. I don't think they use that term in this book, but they might as well have. Then you have Adam. Adam is a washed-up writer that doesn't really know what to do with his life. He is a little upset that Sarah is thriving and he is not. So what does he do? Being a man that knows words, he cheats. It says so on the cover. His mistress is dead. His wife is his only option. So basically you follow, it's dual POV. You follow Adam and Sarah as they try to figure out who did what and why, basically. This one has a lot of plot holes. I'm sorry to say. When I first read it, I was like, these don't really bother me. I don't really get bothered by the plot holes. But every time I see this book, there is a specific plot hole that just irritates the living crap out of me. Like, it irritates me. Sometimes, if I'm sitting in the sofa and I look over at my bookshelf and I see this book, I kind of also just want to message my friend that also read it and be like, do you know what sucks? This plot hole. So yeah, originally I gave this a 3.5, but I have to be honest, it's more like a 3-star. It is an okay psychological suspense to start with. If you are not one of those that go very deep into the book and like you find plot holes in every book you read. You have to be aware when you go in that there is plot holes. You have to be aware that you're going to be left unread. And I wasn't. Yes, something happened. I think the reason I graded it One of the two. A 3.5 is because something happens at the end that made me go, I did not see that coming. And that was kind of what stuck with me when I graded it. But when I think about it now, all I think about is the plot holes. So maybe it's even like a 2.75. I did enjoy it, but it irritates the living crap out of me. And I couldn't in good faith recommend this to somebody that enjoys reading. I would recommend it, but I would also, I'm like, it's a 3-star. We're going to give it 3 stars because I would recommend it, but I would also tell them to, just avoid the potholes. Potholes, you get it? Oh, it's always funny when you have to explain the joke, isn't it? But yeah, 3 stars, 2.75, 3 stars, something in that area. I'm sorry, okay? I'm not convinced. And the next one, another love story by, what's her name? Ashley Poston? I think that's how you pronounce it. Oh my God. Why do I always itch when I'm on camera? I don't know what to say about this book. Well, I do. The concept of this book is fantastic. This one is, what was her name? It's Eileen. I remember. Also, it's the first word on the back of the cover, so it's very easy to figure out. Eileen is in a book club, and the book club meets up once a year to read their favorite books that I cannot for the life of me remember the name of, but they mention it several times in this book. But this year, everybody has different shit going on, so nobody can show up to the book club, and she decides to go, and her car breaks down, and she finds herself in a town she doesn't know, and it turns out to be her favorite books town. Like, she has broken the fourth wall and just gone into like this imaginary town. And the love she feels for these characters that she meets, because she knows who everybody is, she knows everybody's business, she knows you're supposed to be with you're supposed to be with that one, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. They don't know her, but she knows everything about them. You don't know them, but she knows everything about them. When I started reading this, I had to Google if I was supposed to read a different book first, because it felt like I was supposed to know the characters, but I didn't. You get where I'm going with this? The ending was also very weird. I didn't enjoy the ending. It was just weird all around. The concept is fantastic. It was a miss for me. And looking at my notes, where is it? I do not have a system at all. Maybe I should, there it is. Maybe I should get a system. I think this one, I gave it a 2.75 or 3 stars. Because I've actually written down 2.75/3 stars. That's what I gave it originally. It's a 2 star. Might even be a 1 star, but I'm going to give it 2 stars. But to be fair, this should have been a DNF. I should have stopped reading this book. It was okay. It was okay. The concept, loved it. The book itself, kind of didn't enjoy it at all. I wish I DNF'd it. The only reason I didn't DNF it was when I came to the point, because it's not a thick book, right? It's not very long. And when I was over and done and I was not invested in the characters, I was not invested in Eileen, I think I only had like an hour left, a little less, like 50 minutes of the audiobook. And I was like, I'll power through while I'm at the store because I don't have anything else to listen to. I could listen to music, but I didn't want to. So I just powered through this book, basically. Yeah, 2 stars. Should have been a DNF. If this is your favorite book, I'm so happy for you, because I feel like if I enjoyed this book, I would really, really love it. But it was just a miss. And that's very sad, because I was really looking forward to reading, what's it called? The 7 Year Slip, because everybody says that's amazing. But maybe next year, when it doesn't feel that fresh in my mind. Then we have the Pumpkin Spice Cafè. And I have to state that I do enjoy this book. It is a cozy mystery romance. It's a cozy mystery romance. There is some mystery in it. The mystery is very vague and a little boring, in my opinion. You might love it. It might be just enough mystery for you. For me, it was just kind of to get this story to evolve. It kind of felt like. And I'm not a fan of the third act breakup, which apparently, Laurie Gilmore is, because she has it in multiple of her books. The Pumpkin Spice Café. This is about Jeannie, and she inherits her aunt's cafe, which is the Pumpkin Spice Cafe in Dream Harbor. And straight off the bat, she has a meet cute with Logan, the grumpy farmer. And before you know it, she's in love. I don't even think it's like a page later where she's like, oh my god, I am so infatuated with a man that showed up at 5 a.m. outside my door with fruit. Yeah. It goes very quickly. Like, you know, it's very fast and furious. Except it's not furious, but it's very fast. So yeah, you get to follow along on their love story, and I mean, it is a good fall book. I do kind of understand why it gets the hype during fall. I understand it got the same hype last fall as well on the TikTok appy. But now that it's been a while since I read it, I have that feeling again. It kind of irritates me that she's new in town, and first chapter she falls in love with the hunky farmer who is a grumpy dude that lives with his grandparents, if I remember correctly. And then the next chapter, when you read it from his point of view, he has already fallen in love with her as well. It goes by so fast. It's a little ridiculous. So I gave this one originally a 3.5. It's more like a 3. I still enjoy it. I would recommend the Dream Harbor series if you like small town romances that, according to everybody else, has Gilmore Girls vibes, but I have never watched Gilmore Girls, so I'm just repeating what everybody else is saying. Where, yeah, it's dual POV. It is dual POV. It is, right? It's kind of dual POV because it's in third person. So you kind of get to hear both of their heads, I think. Yeah, if I remember correctly. I'm getting unsure. Wait, give me a second. Yeah, you kind of get to be in both of their heads. I remember correctly. I'm not. So yeah, it is more like a 3-star. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy the Dream Harbor series. I am excited for the 4th book, so I am going to read that one as well. It's not like I'm not enjoying it. It's just very fast paced, and even though I like a fast paced book, I hate when, you know, you're 80% into the book and it's like, you know, an interconnected standalone, so you know the next book isn't going to be about them, and they still, you know, haven't hold hands. Then I'm like, dude, you know, get your thingy out, do what you're supposed to do. I think it's more like a 3-star. I enjoyed it. I would probably read it again next fall. I probably will, but it's just not that good. 3.25. I'm only going to grade it down like 0.25. I made up my mind. It's not going to go down that far, but it's going to go down a little bit just because it is very fast paced and it's very not my kind of book all the time. Then we have the next one in the series, which is The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, also written by Laurie Gilmore, which is a pen name. And this is, I think she even said it's very inspired by Gilmore Girls, which, you know, the pen name really makes sense. This one is about Noah and I cannot for the life of me remember her name, Hazel. I like this one better. Noah and Hazel, you meet them first of all in the first book, so you know already in the first book that Noah has a crush on Hazel, and they talk about it, how he has lived in town for a while and they have been around each other, know of each other, know a little bit about each other, but they're not really that deep of friends. So instantly I like this one better because it's not insta-romancy in the same way as the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I did originally rate this a 5-star. I read it in a day. I finished that in the evening, got out of bed, did what I had to do, lied in bed the entire day and read it, and I enjoyed it so much. And I thought that the criticism I had was just me speed reading it, because the criticism I had was that the timeline was a little off and I felt like it was jumping a little bit back and forth in time, not really when it wasn't supposed to. It wasn't like they were going back in time and talking about something that happened a month ago. They were mentioning the month and the month didn't add up. It was summer, then it was kind of fall, then it was summer again. And I thought I just mixed up my books. Then I decided to kind of speed read it. So I basically just read a little bit here and there because I know the story so well. And I didn't mess up. The author did. Or her publisher did. And it is like, it's look, this looks like a full book. It's not a full book. For me, kind of it is a full book because it's supposed to be set in like August, but for most people, August is a summer month. And technically, August is also a summer month for us, but it's the weather doesn't always agree here. That's my point. Yeah. So it is recommended as an autumn book, but it's kind of like a late summer book. The timeline just really confused me. I really enjoyed their story, but this one has like a timeline issue that it's kind of eerie. The reason I literally went through this book again was because I have been thinking about this timeline since I read it, and I read it the day it came out. That's how much it irritated me. So I'm gonna look at my notes again. I did. I gave it 5 stars, but it's more like a 4.25 because I did really enjoy it. I had so much fun reading it. I would probably read it again late summer next year, but the timeline kind of irritates me. It really irritates me that it is set as a full book, but they can't follow it along. Also, they're at the beach at some point, and I feel like they are trying to make it full. Like they're in a town where there is a late summer, but also when you get to the Christmas tree farm, there's so much snow. I don't feel like it kind of connects. I think it was supposed to be a spring release, and then they changed it because they did also change the name of it to fit more with the fall vibes, and some things just got through the crack. Some things were just, left, overseen. That's what I'm trying to say. Some things were just overseen, and as a reader, I just can't oversee it anymore. So it's a 4.25. Sadly, I do really enjoy the Dream Harbor series though. I did also read the Christmas Tree Farm, and that one is also that's still like a 4.25. I really did enjoy that one as well. But it was the same thing. It was very insta-lovey, very straight to the point, but it was reverse Grumpy Sunshine. So she was grumpy, he was sunshine. And that also had a third act breakup that I did not really enjoy. So 4.25. Yes, okay, I've been talking for 22 minutes. I'm gonna try and speed it up. This one. A Court of Mist and Fury, second book in A Court of Thorn and Roses series. I originally gave this one a 5-star, but now that I finished the next book, and it's been a while, it's been like a month, 5 weeks since I read it, 6 weeks, I can't really remember. Maybe I read it in September. I can't remember. It's been a while. This book still kind of irritates me. The entire series irritates me because the first book, I did not enjoy it at all. I kind of wanted to stop reading it. And then everybody was like, oh, no, read the next book. Read the next book. The next book is so much better. And it is. I do agree that this one is better than the first one. Is it a 5-star read? No, it's not. It's not for me. I think fantasy in general, I have not found a book that I find is a 5-star read. I think I gave this 5-star literally because I wanted to join the hype. Everybody else loved it, so why shouldn't I love it? Why shouldn't I love it when everybody else loves it? The truth is, I don't have to love what everybody else loves, even though I love being included. I just want to be friends. But friends can disagree. If you don't know what this series is about, it is about Feyre. Feyre, does something in the first book, and she ends up in a fairy realm, and she becomes part of the Spring Court, where you meet Tamlin, and then you meet a mystery figure later in the book, which is Rhysand, and he shows up again in this book, and you meet the Bad Boys, which is his friends, and most of this book revolves around Feyre and Rhysand and that gang, and not that much about Tamlin, who you meet in the first book. Also, I'm just gonna say, I don't like Feyre. I know a lot of people do, but she is very damsel in distress until she's not, and when she's not, she's feral, and I don't like that in fantasy books. That's like one of the icks I have, when the female main character doesn't know what she's doing, but within like a month or two, she's like the most powerful person there. Just let her fall and trip sometimes, This one, what did I say? 5-star? I think I said 5-star. There it is. Yeah, 5-star read. I think this one is also like a 4.5? No, 4.25? Yeah, 4.25. It is fun. I did really enjoy it. I did not enjoy that I had to read a book before reading this one that I actually didn't like. I did not enjoy that this one is so thick as well, because it's just build up. It's good build up. Do not get me wrong, but the way the internet was talking about how much spice was in this book, I expected there to be more. And that's a me problem. That's not a Sarah J. Maas problem. That's a me problem. That I expected more smut. That's all on me. But yeah, it's a 4.25. I still enjoyed it. I still think it's a good book. Will I ever read it again? No. Why? I don't want to read the first one. And yeah, I read the first one. I could always just jump straight on into the second one, but I don't want to, okay? So leave me be. Then we're going to go over to the next. It's also a Sarah J. Maas book, and this one is the third book in the Akuta series. And this one is called A Court of Wings and Ruin. This one is even thicker than the second one. I gave this a 3.75. I have to be honest with you, like completely honest. This one, I felt like all they were doing, they were building up for a war. I feel like that's what they're doing in this one as well. I feel like what you know, a lot of what happens in this one kind of didn't have to happen because it kind of already happened. That's kind of rude of me to say. Kind of. Yeah, this one is more like a 3 for me. Sorry. I am sorry. I know this is a lot of people's favorite series. I know a lot of people love Rhysand, and I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. And I know a lot of people thrive at these books. Like, it's their favorite book of all time. It's the best series ever. They're counting down the days for the next book. The way this book ended, I am very happy not continuing the series. I felt like it had an ending. I was happy with the ending. Not really, but it's okay. It's more like a 3. I'm sorry. I am so sorry if this is your favorite series. I just didn't like it. My friend even said, she's like, maybe fantasy isn't for you. Because I also didn't like Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. But in Iron Flame, all they did was argue. Like, come on, people, communicate. Next one. And this is a recent read. And that is The Striker. I have a reading vlog out on this book, and I rated it a 3.5. I had a friend ask me, I think it was like 2 days later, if I could tell her what the plot was about. And I could give her 2 sentences. I was like, yeah, it's about Ash Donovan. He is a Premier League player, and it's about Scarlett Dubois, and she used to be a prima ballerina. He enters off-season and gets told to go cross-training, and of course the cross-training is with Scarlett Dubois, and of course it is together with Vincent Dubois, who he plays football with, but is also his arch nemesis and Scarlett's brother. And she's like, oh yeah, that sounds kind of fun. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, is there a lot of drama? I was like, no, not really. Oh, okay. So there's a lot of hookups? And I was like, yeah, no, maybe. I don't really know. This is almost 600 pages. We do not need a sports romance. That is almost 600 pages. I think this could be 300 and it would be a great book. This is just, it's too long. There's too much information. There's so much shit happening that you do not need to know. The banter, like compared to other sports romances, I don't think that what was tried to come off as banter in this book, for me it just felt a little strained. Not even strained, it just felt awkward. And I didn't really feel that the characters had the connection that they were trying to portray on the page. So I gave it a 3.5, but I actually think it's like more like a 2.75. And I'm so sorry. I really wanted to enjoy this. I really wanted to enjoy this. But it was like, I haven't read a single one of her other books. So knowing that you met characters from those books in this one, and it just felt so freaking random. It felt so random. It was like, oh shit, I need to mention somebody they know. So, you know, I'm just going to throw it out there. It felt very random. Very random. Might be fun if you have read the books. For me, it just felt very random. And it's too long. There's going to be 2 more books in this series. You're going to have the Defender. And then my personal hope is that the last one is going to be the goalie, because that was a character I actually really enjoyed. But we'll see. I have one more thing to say, actually. It reminded me on the back of it. It says, Asher Donovan is a living legend. Congratulations. Not everybody can say that they are that. Congratulations to you, Asher. The greatest footballer in the world, but his reckless behavior and recent transfer have become a PR nightmare. I felt like the PR nightmare occurred after he started off-season training. They do talk about some of the stuff that he has done, but they talk about it like it was previously, like before he came to the club he's at right now. So it was a miss for me. It's a 2.75. That is a book I rated because I was happy I was done with it, not because I enjoyed the book. That's like a prime example of it. I was so happy when the audiobook was done. I felt so happy that I finished it. It was like, yay me, you know, I get to celebrate with a coffee. I didn't enjoy it that much. And I have to be honest with myself, and I have to be honest with you guys. Then we have Caught Up from the Windy City series. This is the third book in the Windy City series. It's written by Liz Tomforde, and I rated this a 4.75. This is about Kai, or Malachi, which is his full name, well, first name, and it's about Miller. Kai plays baseball. Miller is a world-renowned pastry chef, but her dad is the coach for the baseball team, and she decides to take a few months off and go on the road with them. The only way she could go on the road with them is by becoming the nanny for Kai's kid. Kai is not very happy about it. Kai is very particular about who he has as a nanny. But you know, his boss tells him to hire someone, so he does. Because I would also do that if my boss told me to hire someone. I rated this originally a 4.75. That's wrong. This is a 5-star read. This one and Mile High in this series is a 5-star read for me. The entire series is a 5-star read. The two other ones I have rated a 4.75. This one is a 5-star. I know a lot of people don't like it because it is the single dad trope. I ate it up. I cried. Like, I knew what was going to happen. It's a sports romance. I know they are going to end up together. And I still cried like a little bitch reading this one. So this is a 5-star read for me. I absolutely adore the Windy City series. But I have to be honest with you guys. 5 stars. Malachi. I love that name also. I love that name. And then we have 1,000 Boy Kisses. What to say about 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tillie Cole? Originally, I gave this one a 3.5. This story is beautiful. I was 17 pages in when I started crying, and I think every time I picked up the book, I cried. The only thing that kind of irritated me a lot was the main male character in this book. His name is Rune. He's Norwegian. So I got very confused when I also started reading the book because the book starts in Norwegian. So I actually thought I got it in the wrong language. He irritated me. He irritated the living crap out of me. Like, his attitude is just fucking bad. But the longer it's been since I read this, the more it kind of warms my heart. I love this story. Yes, I think Rune is a piece of work. I love this story. I rated it a 3.5 originally. It's a 4.5. I mean, yes, he irritates me. Yes, I would like him to sometimes, you know, get a smack in the back of his head, told to get a grip, but I understand him. He's a teenager. They are teenagers in this book. I'm actually think I'm gonna read the second one very soon. I enjoyed this book so much. I highly recommend it. Did I tell you what it's about? No, of course I didn't. This one is about Poppy and Rune, and they meet as children when Rune moves to the United States. I think that's where it's at. Somewhere in the States. And he befriends the girl next door, Poppy. Then, you know, they are attached at the hip and they are best friends. When he becomes a teenager, his dad's company relocates him back to Oslo in Norway, and he has to go. Then you jump 2 years in timeline. You get to know that they stopped having contact. You get to know that Rune fell in with a bad crowd when he was in Oslo, and when he comes back, he is just dreamy for everyone, you know, a little mysterious. And you get to follow along on how they kind of rekindle their friendship and build up their relationship and everything that comes along with it. You also get to know why they stopped having contact over those 2 years, even though they make it seem like they're supposed to, but something, you know, something always happens when you write snail mail. It's a beautiful story. I love it. The ending, did not see it coming. Some of it I saw coming, and then I was like, what? Wait, no, what happened? I don't understand. And it's very beautiful. So it is a 4.5. I'm so sorry, Tillie Cole, that I graded you down because you write insufferable teenage boys. But yeah, that was me going through the books that I have kind of rated wrong, or I feel like I didn't give the correct rating to first start out. I hope this video makes sense. I hope you enjoyed it. If you agree with me, like, have you a book that you feel like you graded too high or too low, and then after a while you're like, I need, in my brain, at least to just change it, because you did actually enjoy it more than you thought, or you didn't enjoy it as much as you thought. Oh, I'm glad I'm itching again. Thank you guys so much for spending some of your precious time with me. I really, really do appreciate it. If you made it this far, why not, give it a cheeky like and maybe leave a comment. If you don't have anything special to say, leave an emoji. It really does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And while you're down there, want to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another one of my videos. It would mean a lot to me, and hopefully I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.